Oh! So, another thing that arrived with the previous Banggood heater, and while we're waiting for other bits to arrive, is one of these jump starter things. That's upside down, David. Let me turn that around for you. So, who out there, hands up, has had one of these kind of jump starter doodads where thing with big chunky lithium ion battery and a set of jump leads, things plugs into it, and you connect up your car battery, which is supposed to be flat, and this actually works to jump start it. So hands up if you've got one of them. Hands up if it still works, because yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 of these and they're all dead. All dead, every one of them. So this KROAK, or KROAK, or however you say it, KROAK, is like one of them, but without a battery. And for those of you that can read, you'll see it says Super Capacitor. So supposedly inside here is a 400 farad super capacitor that you can charge via 12 volt input, USB-C input, or I'm hoping presumably by another car battery. You can charge it up and use that to jumpstart a vehicle. Now I could of course use the magic of YouTube and editing to show you me pretending to jumpstart a car. Because let's face it, how likely is it I would have a car with a dead enough battery that it's not knackered, but is still working enough that it would jumpstart to start? I mean, I could go and edit it and pretend to not start the pickup and then plug this in and start the pickup and the magic of YouTube would make the thing. That's not likely to happen, but what we can do is take this apart and see what is inside it. Oh well, I suppose we should look in the box, because hopefully there is, yeah, the jump starter ends. Oh, and for once they're actually just jump starters on a plug. Oh, because if anyone else has used the other kind, right, you get ones that have got this big stupid end on it that's supposed to do like the reverse polarity detection and whatnot. What I usually find out is with these is they don't work, because if the battery's so dead in the car, it detects no battery, and then it doesn't let the jump starter do the jump starting. Which is why I recommend, if anyone's actually got one of the old other battery type ones, is to get rid of the intelligent jumpstart plugs and just get the ones that's got the 2 ends and the massive diode pack in it, and that solves most of your problems with that. So that's nice. It's just actually 2 leads and a wire. We've got a short 12 volt plug for charging it, and that's it. Oh no, oh, sorry, take it back, tell a lie. It does include a USB-C cable for charging via USB-C. Here is the instruction manual. Once you've charged it, connect it up to your battery. It then starts a countdown, so that gives you 10 seconds to run round, get inside, wait for the countdown to stop, then it turns it on, and that's when you crank the car, and hopefully, biff baff off, it should start. Right, what we need first is a battery. Ta-da! One Uasa YBX 1000, also known as a small, that might have been out, it's either a Subaru or a Mitsubishi Evo, that battery. One of these ends, wait, where is it? Right, under there, there's a nice silicon flap. We'll plug our plug thing into. Well, it goes one way, hopefully. Plug that in there. Right, put that around that way. See how much of this will all get in shot. Right, ground onto ground, positive onto positive, and it beeps. And it is charging. In. There it goes. Power's going in. Da, 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 da. That should be a fairly well charged battery. Should be. I will speed up this process. Although, we're getting there, slowly. Wow, this really might be a 400. Then again, it might be doing inrush current limiting. Oh, wait. I might even, can I do this before? Let me select DC 0 out. Are we there in time? So according to my thing, it's currently charging at 7.2 amps, 7.3 amps. It's pulling in through the crocodile clips. I presume it's current limiting because a super capacitor, or any capacitor, should really appear as a dead short to a charging system. So the fact it's doing 7 amps means it's not murdering the input system. Nice. It's nearly charged. I wonder then if at 7 amps it'll probably do 7 or 8 amps over the 12 volt input as well. It's one I could test actually. We could plug it into a power station and test that once we've charged this and discharged it on something. So that says 11.7 volts. My battery is currently 12.18 on that gauge. I wonder if this will come up to match it. Well, one of these is lying. Alright, I've been outside and retrieved this old Bosch battery from outside, and it currently has a whopping 3.4 volts in it. Great. Right, let me put that there. Can you still see that? Can you mostly see? You can kind of see 3.4 volts. So 3.4 volts. Okay. Well, in that case, when we put this on to here, we should have a knackered battery. God knows what's going to happen. Probably a small explosion. Right, you're joining along with the ride here. I've turned it on. Wow. So, no countdown. Even though there's a 3 volt battery. Wow, so that battery's also too flat for this jumper pack to jump. Well, that's not much use, is it? Whew, okay, this one's 6 volts. So if we connect up ground, red, turn it on. It clonked that time on me, but it's not doing anything. I've read the manual wrong? Right, join along with me. Connected, yes. The product will automatically turn on. When the capacitor voltage is higher than 14.5 volts, it will automatically display the ignition mode prompt symbol. The countdown starts in 10 seconds. When the capacitor voltage is lower than 14.5 volts. Well, how does that help me? Because these batteries can't charge. You're trying to charge from dead batteries. So this needs 14.5 volts in it before it'll try and jumpstart the other vehicle. Does that therefore mean that I need to charge it from a running car to get the 14.5 volts? So let us take my power supply and we'll give it 14.7 volts, which is, you know, normal alternator charging current. We'll connect that one on there. And this one on here, and hopefully it'll charge up to 14.5 volts this time. Okay. In. No? In. Right, yes, good. Right, power supply drawn 7 amps input. So it's charging again 7 amps, and this time it should go, hopefully, all the way up to 14, did I say 14.5 or 14.7? 14.5, so it needs to get to 14.5 volts before it'll be charged. Okay, 100%. So that means that would be theoretically ready to jump start the car once those 3 icons come out. So now if we disconnect it, right, we've got our 14.7 volts this time. So if we connect it to this battery, let me bring you in so you can see it. Right, we're ready. 14.7 volts. That's the sign that it's supposed to be ready to jumpstart. Where's the countdown timer? What happened? Where did it go? I mean, is it inputting or outputting anything? Is it doing anything? Nope. There is no current flow and nothing. No current flow. Not doing anything. Read the instruction manual again. Now it's charging the battery back up again. It's now going back to charging again. Okay, this should be doing its countdown thing now. You get 10 seconds. Start your car. There's 7 amps going somewhere. I don't know where though. 4, 3. Ah, so it just like dumped all of its charge back in that battery. Yep. Run out amps. And that's it. It's now, well, I consider itself to be flat again. So there's a bit in the manual for doing that if it doesn't do it automatically. You just press and hold the button on the side until you get that beeping. And then once the beeping stops, there's a relay and you can hear it clink inside. Once you get to the, once you've gone from beep, beep, beep to beep, that's when you can crank your car and away she goes. And then I think you just have to disconnect it and then reconnect it to get it to charge back up again. Should switch back to in. Yeah, goes back to charge, so this will charge back up again from this battery. Is that hot? There is a warmth off of this. A slight warmth. Ah, should have brought the thermal imager out with me. Wait, I did. Right, it's fully charged. I'm going to press and hold the power button to make it do its thing. Okay, it's now doing its countdown timer. Stay. Oh, come on! Oh, I'm going to do that again. Alright, I'm going to disconnect it. I'm going to reconnect it. And we're going to let it charge, hopefully. Right, so this should be it charging. I don't really see any. I think that's a reflection of heat as opposed to actual heat. Okay, we're going to dump again this time. This time with the thermal imaging. In. Okay. I'm going to see if the temperature spikes anywhere on it. Right, so from that little setup we can see that the, well, at least in my setup, it doesn't auto-detect that there's a car with a flat battery attached like it's supposed to, but pressing and holding the button until it starts at beeping starts the jump start cycle. Suppose what we should do now is take it apart. I've seen it. Oh man, they're really in there. Doing its thing. It will now just slowly discharge in the background. I can turn this power supply off. Turn that power supply off. Move the battery out the way. A little current device. We wouldn't see a huge current transfer because that battery's A, not particularly flat, and B, isn't a starter motor, which is, I can't remember, like 500, 600,000 watt starter motor. So you won't see the current transfer where we need an actual starter motor in line. Now, let's see. I do not see any screw holes. I just see a slight gap in the plastic. Safe anti-static working area, also known as a dirty pink towel. Right, let's put that there. I'm going to get plastic spudgers and we will spudge that open. There's my collection of plastic automotive spudgery things. Where's that one? That's got a nice round edge on it. See if we can... Oh, this should just crack straight open, I think. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Is that 8? Looks like 8. Wow, they're not symmetrical either. Weird. And it's turned itself on with me leaning on it. They appear to be absolutely bog standard Phillips screws. So we kind of saw from the thermal imaging that there's, was it 5 distinct blocks of heat going across the way, which I presume is going to be like 5 super capacitors. What was it, 6? 5 or 6? I don't expect there to be one massive capacitor in here. I expect there to be, you know, well, 4 or 5 paralleled up to get 400 farads, but with the capacity to actually dump out a huge amount of current. And this whole bit comes off. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. Slightly anticlimactic because I've not taken that screw all the way out. Oh, for the love of... Right. Da, 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 da. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giant capacitors. I'm to zoom you in a touch. I will try and be relatively careful. So you've got a connection there that's just for the screen. Let's just unplug that just now. Right, I have disconnected the screen and those screws could just stay in there. Where am I in shot? Here I am. Lovely. Right, we have 5 ginormous capacitors marked at 400 farads and 2.7 volts. What's 2.75 times 5? Can't even maths, that's terrible. Jeez, wow. 2.7 times 5 equals 13.5 volts. How is it getting 14? How? I mean, I know you can like boost up, but I thought like all I had to do was put another one in. What is holding the rest of all this in? Shall we just take it out, the whole thing? Try not to touch anything. I mean, I know it's only 13.5 volts, but it's 13.5 volts like really, really, really fast. What is holding the rest? There's a bit of hot glue there for. Ooh, it's got temperature. That's definitely a temperature sensor stuck in amongst all the capacitors. That's nice. Right. Now we just have to get the rest of it out. Success! With much prying and prodding, I managed to get the sticky tape on the back to finally release the capacitors there. Now the name on them is a CamCap. Do they have any designations? Yes, S0651. And you can see hopefully on there that it's 2.7 volts, 400 farads. Here's a look at the circuit board. I believe that's just a big relay for when it switches on and off. And the other side, a couple of capacitors. I presume this is a boost side, boost supply. No, is that another smaller relay to drive the bigger relay? Beepery thing, and some other chips on board. And that's just no wait, that's an interconnect. You can actually just take that whole other board off. Well, that would make assembly and disassembly much easier. So there you end up with just a super capacitor bank. And then presume the relay will be controlled by the controller box. Now, shall we see what sort of voltage is still present in this? Stay. Right, let's have some DC. So that should be the outside. These should all be connected in. So I've got 2.4 volts and 2.4 volts. And that should be, is that 2.4 as well? 2.4 volts. So between there and there, does that give us nothing because it's not connected? So between there and there, just a hair under 10 volts. So it's slowly discharging as they do. Right, well, I suppose I should now put it all back together in its box and see if it still works. Right, I'm going to do that. And time! Right, she's reassembled. Let's plug it back in. again. Things are falling on the floor behind me. That should go in there. And then put the red lead onto the positive and the black lead onto the negative. Da, 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 da. It still works. Nobody's more surprised than I am. It does have got a bit of a rattle now because a lot of the little teeny tiny plastic clips for the exterior trim snapped off, but there's still enough to hold all the bits on. I'll even bring it in shot so I can actually show you it still working. I could just move my tool thing over and drag my battery down a bit. There, it's still absolutely alive and working. I shan't lie to you, I've got no way of testing at the moment if this will actually jumpstart a car. Should I, in the future, be in a position where I have to jumpstart somebody's car and I happen to have this in the pickup, I will film it and I will let you know if it actually does the thing. But the theory is there, and we've looked inside, and it does have 400 farad capacitors inside, and it does charge up to the said voltage that it says it's doing. And we have seen it with the current clamp that current both goes in and out of the system. That's how I say, in theory, it should all work. And the fact that it doesn't have any batteries in it means that you can't really forget to recharge it. So if you're going to jumpstart somebody's car and you don't have your jump leads in the car, you just take this, connect it to your own vehicle's running battery, charge this up, then go to their car, connect up, and Bob's your uncle, it should start their car. That is the theory. And then once you're finished, just disconnect it all, put it in its box, and forget about it until next time, and not have to worry about it actually being charged in its box, because it will just slowly discharge over time in its box and go back to being flat and safe. And well, safe because there's no lithium ion batteries in there to go and fire, etc, etc. And as we've seen, it will not output anything unless you manually force it to do its output sequence. So it's mostly safe at that. Should you have any comments, questions, etc, etc, please, as always, leave them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.